Hello, everyone. 1,000 episodes. 1,000 videos of this game. The end of a journey and the beginning of a new one soon. But how did we get here? How did we get from a character that technically should have just been a meme and deleted the next day after creation to probably my most important character and creation I've ever done? Well, I guess the real answer is, well, I don't know exactly how to do this, so let's just relax and talk about this, right? In the beginning, I don't even know what year. I don't even remember the year or the date, really, of creation. It's probably, I think, a year. Yeah, about a year before Stormblood came when I created the character and ran through the game. Because I ran through Realm Reborn, took a break, found out, really found out about they were bringing out not Endwalker, Stormblood. So I jumped back on and through Heaven's Ward and prepared for it. But the thing is, this isn't my first character. A lot of people don't really know much. I tried to talk about this a lot, or sometimes, but this isn't my first character. My first, it wasn't the start of this game. It wasn't the beginning. So the beginning of it was, I was sitting around. I had just gotten a PS3 recently. I had just finished up, actually, Final Fantasy XIV story, or mainly achievements and stuff for the Xbox version and things. Somewhat. I don't know the dates and times, really. But they were shutting it down, and I think it was after I done that I got on 14. I was told by a friend about Final Fantasy XIV. They had just gotten it themselves, like started playing, so I got it as well, out on whim. But the thing is, I made a character. I played for a little bit, and then me and this friend had a falling out, and it caused me to stop actually playing. After I had done Realm Reborn. And I had actually done the beginning of Heaven before. The story before patches came out for it. So it just sat there, and it sat there for 2 years, 2.5. How long? And then I made a character. And then I made Ron one day. I said it, I thought it would be a joke. I thought it'd be funny to be like, oh, let's just make Ron Stoppable, because, you know, I'm on this weird kick about making funny characters at the moment. So I made Ron Stoppable. And then I started playing, and I noticed this weird thing. A lot of people actually like Ron Stoppable. Whether it's my stream or it's in game, because I started getting quite a bit of attention from people, and of course, because of it, I joined an FC. It was they changed their name frequently, I think, but it was like the Otter Squad. It was something before that, probably too, but I joined them finally. And this was around Honestly, I think this was around Stormblood that I joined them. Because at this point, I was I was really into the game. I was actually rushing to do content before that came out. I even tried to rush through Savage in Heaven's during Heaven's Ward's era, but I couldn't do it because I didn't know how to play my character, my job, which is monk. I played monk. It was terrible. I had to be honest. Monk was terrible in Heaven's Ward and Realm Reborn. But afterwards, we got home with. I began to actually go through Heaven's Ward, and then I hit a wall. There was a patch that came out. Even more so, I started getting toxicity on my stream about my job, about monk. Apparently I was doing so bad with it that I was doing less damage than even tanks. Because I didn't really know how to play my job. I was just pushing buttons. Because honestly, I played so many free MMOs that that's how you play free MMOs. You just push the buttons and they do things. This, you had to learn a rotation, and of course I didn't want to do that. I kind of didn't have the time to sit there and figure it out. So I was just still pushing buttons, but after a while I started to did understand how monk works somewhat. One thing I learned partially was the dot mechanic. Like everybody always kept saying, put your dot up. I didn't understand what that meant at the time. But then I started reading tooltips and understanding references. Because I did play Final Fantasy XI, but the way it was designed by the time I jumped in was just you could become overpowered, completely overpowered, and it kind of didn't have a rotation. At least I never saw one. You could just push buttons and do things. Coming from that to this made me realize it's like, oh, this is gonna play differently, and I have to figure this out. Because it was after Suzaku. Yeah, Suzaku, that people started to really help. People came into my stream, which I learned too late that if people do that and are using FF logs against you in a hazardous way, you can ban them people. You can get them reported and banned. So when they came into my chat and started talking like that, I was like, oh. It made me almost stop playing completely, but I bounced back. I cleared Suzaku, by the way. I managed to do it. It kind of makes... I actually talked to my current FC, and I was like, hey, do you think we could go through Suzaku again this time and see how well I do? Because now I know how Monk works. Even the new edition, but yeah. Going after after Stormblood, there were Shadowbringers. And that's where things changed dramatically. Because I joined a new FC. The current FC I'm in, I dropped my old one and joined a new one. It's a funny story though, because I was trying to do scavenge content as a healer. Because I had leveled up. After doing Monk, I realized, after doing the story as Monk, I realized the queue times are horrific. And more so, Party Finder was doing bad because no one was healing and tanking. Really. So I opted to change to Astro and level. And that was fun. I managed to level it rather quickly, actually, in a week. Far faster than what I do nowadays. Not even that. No, it wasn't a week. It was actually... I did it in a weekend. I unlocked Astro and managed to level it within a weekend, pretty much. To 80. It's all I did. I just non-stop leveled it. Honest, and that's when I ran into, and that's when I started to try and do Savage. Because I realized I could do this. I was doing it on extreme healing. But and that's when I ran into my now FC leader. Because we weren't in, it wasn't an FC at the time. There was none. We just, she had a party finder up saying looking for a hero, mainly an Astro, and I joined it, talked to her, and we did a trial run of E1S. It was abysmal. I can say it was abysmal. And they all, everyone that was part of it even admits it was abysmal. But I stuck around. I stuck around afterwards. I wanted to see what. And then apparently, I think if I remember, her FC was starting to fall apart. There was drama and stuff, so she wanted out. I was like, I was still part of my FC, but I was still part of my FC at the time, and she decided, and not only that, but she was also on another server. I was on Famfrit, and she was on Hyperion. So, when she finally made the FC, I still couldn't do anything until she was like, I will pay for your transfer, and more so, I will pay for your house. Yeah. I had a house also at the time. I got lucky with getting another house, which is the one I'm in now. But yeah, she paid for the transfer. We set up. She built the new FC, and I was one of its founders, and that's the history. And then through Shadowbringers, a lot has happened about Shadowbringers. I've done a lot of stuff that I didn't think I would ever do. Started doing Savage. We started cleaning up. I started cleaning up Savages and stuff. I was doing extreme fights much faster. I would a semi-mastered monk in Stormblood after the changes, because I went back from Astro. I went from Astro to Gunbreaker, then back to monk during Shadowbringers, and stayed as monk afterwards. And then M-Walker came. And that's when I realized this is the end of the story. I'll be honest, I was getting kind of tired of the Zodiac and Heidelin story after a while. That's all they kept pounding, and I wanted something new, something different. But then M-Walker came, and it was like, oh, this is the end. We did M-Walker. I did M-Walker. Anybody who remembers or has seen it, 24-hour stream, day one, on the early access point. Afterwards, I started doing, well, actually, let's back up a little bit, because I have to talk about this. It's big. One of the big important things that I'm actually realizing I'm forgetting. Crafting and gathering. Because of my FC leader, my current one, her doing crafting and gathering all the time, and more so my whatchamacallit? My it became my obsession because of her. Sorry, I was doing. Sorry, I'm looking out the window wondering if people are showing up to my place. It's nothing. But because of her, I started to really push and level crafting and gathering, and now I'm one of the FC's highest crafters, because I've managed to do what they normally complain about doing and not wanting to do, which is overwhelm my gear, which I did for M-Walker so far. So I'm kind of prepped for a lot of things, crafting and gathering wise. I finally did all the storylines and got all my stuff done for crafting and gathering. But yeah. Anyway, in Walker, 24-hour stream, he did. And that was the most fun I ever had with this game, actually, was doing that. Because it was like, oh, we got the... And of course, we cleared out everything, like, side quest-wise and stuff for Walker's areas. We still got to do Heaven's Ward and all that and stuff. There's still so much to do in this game. Like, even though we're starting in 6.1, we're getting a new story, we're getting a new... There's still past stuff that I still need to complete. And I'm hoping that we are able to do it. I'm hoping we are able to do it. But yeah, that's about it, really. I wanted to tell you all about, like, my story, essentially. But there's just so much I've done in this game. It is probably one of the most it's probably the longest game I've ever played. Okay. You never know when somebody's gonna just show up. I don't know if somebody was knocking on my door or not. Yeah. I'm not good at this, okay? I just wanted my 1000th episode to be a recap of my entire event of this game. Because, like I said, I've put so much time and effort into this character. Into this. I put a lot of time in it. Doing so much learning about things, making friends. Not only in this game, friends, but also offline with role playing and stuff. Like role playing on other sites to do with Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen from this point, like when 6.1 comes out. But I'm hoping we get new stuff. We are gonna get new stuff, but I'm hoping that this truly is the end of Heidemann and Zodiac and Xenos. Please don't bring back Xenos. Yeah. The journey is unending after all. I'm hoping that we can have another I'm hoping for another 1000 episodes. I really am, but only time will tell. Because there's times when I get burnt out with this game and stuff, but yeah. But now, it's time. Well, now it's time for interviews. Yes. So, I'm gonna be talking to people. Probably two or three. Don't know how many. Like they said, this is late in the game that I decided to do interviews and stuff. So I'm scrambling to get some people to actually talk to. But yeah, enjoy the interviews if there are any. There's going to be at least one. I know that.
What happens in the Crystarium stays in the Crystarium.
Not this time. So how are you, Misha?
Good. Just got back from having dinner. Me and Az have matching sneakies now in real life. Pretty cool.
Well, I'm here to interview my FC leader, which is Misha. What is the last name of your character? The one thing I can't keep track of.
Ignis.
Ignis. I met her during Shadowbringers. Was it after the main story?
Yeah,
No.
because like you can't do the Edens until after you get through the main story.
Yeah. But yeah, it was before any of the patches too, right? Was it?
I think so.
Yeah. I was an Astro at the time, and you needed to find an Astro.
Yep. Once upon a time, what had happened was, I had like 6 other friends, and they all suggested trying Savage together, which is fine, but you need 8 people for Eden. So I threw up a party finder because I couldn't find one in my network. And then Ron joined the party finder, and we went into the first seeding together, and that was a hot, trainy mess, but it was fun. And I think Ron got scared,
Mm-hmm.
so I messaged him later on that night, like, hey, I said we were gonna do Savage together. I never said we were good at it, but if you stick around, we'd be cool with it because we like you. And sure enough, he stayed with us.
And we built an FC together. I had to
Yeah.
move from Famfrit to Hyperion.
Yeah, but we helped you get a new house.
Yeah.
I decorated it for you. You're welcome.
Yep, all the decoration in the house that are in the past videos or whenever I'm in it on stream is done by her. Done by her and someone else too.
Yeah.
Which
all
was
we all speak of.
well, that we don't talk about that, but the other person is also Jiro. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride with this game. Considering the Heidelin and Zodiac story has ended, and we're now going into a new adventure, new story, new plot, new everything. It's all changing. How do you feel about what the game has become from when you started?
Kind of terrified now that like all the loose ends are tied up, but kind of excited because I like making Gil. I don't know why. It's almost like a hobby where when new content comes out, I'm always like trying to find ways to be the first to list new furniture items, new crafted gear to sell it. I love making Gil so much.
It's because of you that I took crafting and gathering serious now in the game. It's begun
It'll
to
help in the future because I
Yeah.
also want to make like submarine parts, and I need
Ooh.
some things for that. But yeah, I'll need your help for sure.
I can help. I want to look at it as well, submarines and things. But it's also like crafting and gathering has begun to bleed into other games I play too. Oddly, like it's all I want to do in other games too.
I've tried playing a few other games after getting through like the main story. Like I tried PSO2 and I tried Genshin Impact, and I think visually they're really nice, but like the way that they play isn't the same as Final Fantasy, so
Yeah.
I just came back to Final Fantasy. I was just grossed out.
It's just they're not the same. Because I've played both of them myself, and it's just I always come back to this.
The controls are too weird for me. Like I'm just so used to how nicely everything plays here.
I think it's because I think I can't do them very long because in those all you have to do is push buttons. In this you have to do rotations. You have to know your job. And free to play, it's just push random buttons and do massive damage automatically.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how did you start Final Fantasy XIV?
Oh. So I was playing a different game entirely that had nothing to do with like RPGs or anything like that. It's called Second Life,
Hmm.
and I met someone named Shadow Sama, and he helped me get Photoshop on my computer, and in return, I would try out Final Fantasy XIV. And so we made that deal, and I got on here, and I first started out as an Ellison, and I really like the story. I got hooked on it after like 3 days, and I bought all of the expansions after that because I knew I wanted to play. I knew I
Oh my
wanted to be
goodness.
here. And even before I started playing, I knew I wanted to be a red mage because Shadow had me watch a video of all the different jobs, and I watched that video like 3 times, and then I settled on red mage.
Oh
So
my
I started
goodness.
out as Arcanist to kind of get a feel for casting, and then I switched over to Summoner because you can't get red mage until you have
Yeah.
a job at level 50. So once Summoner hit 50, that's it. I switched to red mage.
So you weren't here at the beginning of it when it launched,
No,
like Realm
when I
Reborn launched.
started playing, it was like the end of not Shadowbring, it was the end of Stormblood.
And you
So like
managed to.
everybody was in Eureka trying it out while I was getting through the main story.
Mm. So now, so you were how'd you get how'd you get through the story so fast? 'Cause I had to take breaks between expansions, like after I completed a expansion, because this
Well,
isn't.
because I've been working from home this whole time, so I actually could like watch the cutscenes
Mm-hmm.
while taking calls for work.
Because this ain't my first character. So,
Misha is my first character, but eventually I did make a second one just so that I didn't have to use Fantasias all the time because I would have 2 different races at any given time.
oh my goodness, the Fantasia War of the FC. It's like
Yeah.
almost every month we're changing our race into something.
I'd stay a Vieira if like they could wear at least 75% of the hats in the game, but you can't even like right click and try on
Yeah.
a hat in most of the dungeons when they drop,
Mm-hmm.
and that made me sad, so I switched back to Aura.
Yeah, I started to get tired of that. And I was leveling warrior as Viera. I was like, I can't do this. I needed some kind of helmet on, which is
I was
funny.
surprised by how long you stayed Vieira, but you got the full experience.
But a lot has happened in this game. I've
Yeah.
heard.
What would you say is like the best thing that ever happened to you?
Uh, it's quite a few of things. Meeting you,
Aw,
because you met.
same.
If I don't think if I think if I was still in my old FC, I would have stopped playing eventually and got bored. Because when you're playing alone, after a while, once you're done the main story, it just becomes like lonely. Because all the content is like all the advanced content is locked behind playing with other people mostly. And my old FC was not doing anything much. Like they didn't have no schedule or anything like we do.
I feel like our schedule just kind of like unraveled at the beginning of Endwalker because I wanted everyone to have time to level alternate jobs
Oh, yeah.
and try out whatever they wanted to try out before we started up with our schedule. So I'll probably put something together because I still want to make sure everybody has all of their
Oh,
mounts from
yeah.
the extremes from the past.
I still have to get Heidelin and Zodiac.
And we definitely gonna do more maps. Like after this interview, we gotta go get some maps.
you and McGill.
Yeah, everything equates to Gil, like if you
Yeah,
do it correctly.
yeah.
Have you noticed that?
It's like you're the Tataru of this FC
Yeah.
at this point.
And like I need on as much of the gear that drops as possible to turn it in to buy glass fiber because Gil.
Wait, you're still buying glass fiber?
Yeah. It still sells. It's still worth like over 7K. I'm just saying, like easy Gil.
That's on Hyperion.
Yeah.
So, oh my god. I don't even know what it's used for.
Hold on. Give me a second. I'll tell you what it's used for. I know you make glass with it, and then you turn it into wine glasses, and then you can make the wine rack
Ooh.
for the housing furniture. That's why it's still relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, even just doing roulettes gives you a lot of gil, and then
Yeah.
there's also decent thing gives you gil if you decent enough items.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do enough gathering and enough crafting, that turns into gil as well.
I don't even. I don't think they've said it that we're getting. Are we getting new stuff in 6.1?
Yeah, there's new furniture items coming out.
But
That's
no.
why I'm
Are we getting
doing
gear?
like the time nodes.
Are we getting new gear?
I'm pretty sure there will be new gear. I don't know if it'll be like stuff that you buy with tomestones. It might be, or
I mean,
from
like,
the new raids.
I think
The
we
new
can
raids
turn in
always
our
have gear.
I think we can turn in our crafting gear to make it upgradable.
Yeah, that'll be a
I
thing.
don't know how that works. I think this will be the official
Buy an
first
item
time.
and turn in some tomestones with that item. I think.
Okay. I'll have to do that with my crafting and gathering gear.
Because they did that in Mulemore.
And then overmeld it again and watch everybody get mad about all the money I waste.
I just want to say thank you, Square Enix, for like that level 90 crafted gear. Like, this gear is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
This top. Like, I was running around Endwalker, and I was like, those guys have really cool outfits. And then when I realized that that's the level 90 crafted outfit,
Mm-hmm.
man, I leveled my crafter so fast and so hard so I could have it too.
It's so odd because I noticed that when I was doing the stodium in Old Charlian this morning.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of been up since like midnight. I've not gone to sleep yet because I wanted to get stuff done before doing the interviews and things. Because this will be the 1000th episode.
Congratulations.
Years in the making. Hopefully we get another 1000 episodes for all the new stuff coming.
So what's your favorite mount in the game?
My Osmo mount. Because I'm still proud of it, that I did the Eureka stuff and the what's it called, the Arsenal, Valdesian Arsenal.
I'm definitely proud of, but I also like, and I'm gonna say this all wrong, Al Iklil, the motorcycle mount from Bojan and Zadnor, from finding every single
field note. Oh my goodness.
That was a lot of runs of Dal to get that.
I still have to
That
do
was
it.
the last field note I needed.
That's the crazy part about this game. There's always something to do. Even when you think you've done it all, there's just something that appears all of a sudden in a little corner in the middle of on some map that's just like, oh, I haven't done that yet.
Sightseeing logs.
Yeah.
That's also a thing. Like, if you really want to challenge, do the ARR sightseeing logs, because they're like time and weather sensitive, so that'll keep you busy for months.
Oh my goodness. Did they remove those for the later?
I don't think they ever will, and I'm kind of glad, because you actually have to do it and earn it. Because I think you get a minion from doing all the ARR sightseeing logs.
Well, let's just see how much I can do in 6.1.
They have like a website where you can like see the weather pattern and what time it'll be there. That way you can get the sightseeing logs taken care of quicker. Ish.
Oh boy.
Jose!
Jose!
We're doing an interview.
Oh, okay.
Come back. Say something. Oh, he's gone now.
Yeah. I'll let him know when we're done.
Yeah.
Because we still got a mount farm too. tonight.
What time?
9.
Oh.
So we got plenty of time for your interview.
I just gotta make sure I'm done by 11. Because there is one last interview to do.
Ah, who are you interviewing next?
Jiro.
Oh.
I know what you're all gonna say, but
I'm not gonna say anything.
it's probably something that'll come up in the middle of it all, and I'll be like, he's a good person. It's just we've set up conditions about our relationship, and it's just like we agreed on it, and
It is what it is.
yep. But he still makes me happy, so.
That's good.
And you were right. You kind of were right about the Studium's reward at the end. All we got was a translating device fish.
Yeah.
But I like it.
You know what I'm angry about in the game? Like, my only beef with the game so far is that for getting maximum reputation with all the beast tribes in Shadowbringers, you don't get like a title or a minion or anything. No dance emote, nothing. But they did have a special emote in ARR, I think, and in Stormblood.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't get anything for Shadowbringers. I hope they fix that or do
Are
something.
you talking about the big connecting story after you do it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get anything, which is so sad.
Yeah, that makes me sad and angry.
Yeah, I hope we get. Well, Hildebrand's coming back, so.
Yeah, that's not the same though.
I know. But... Yeah,
I mean, it might have an emote and that's cool, but it's not beast tribes, which took a lot longer.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do something for Endwalker, because the stories that connect everything together, they have a lot of them have good rewards.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad with Endwalker because like the maps are so good.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot. They've added so many
So
rewards
pretty.
and stuff. Yeah. You got your pixie wings, right?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Like, RNG has just been pooping on me lately. No luck.
That's so sad. I've been unable to do much of anything. I would have had a lot. I actually would have had a lot done. I didn't have to wait 3 weeks last month for my internet. Which I still have to call because the upload speed is messing up. Which messes up trying to stream half the day.
I'm sorry for your loss.
And then this month with Chrono Cross Remaster coming out, I'm trying to do the entire Chrono series. And then Square Enix is like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna drop a patch on you too. Like, so if you're a Chrono fan of the series, it's like, and like Final Fantasy XIV, you kind of got shafted. You have to
You
pick
could do
between
like
them.
6 hours of one and then 6 hours of the other,
Yeah.
so you don't feel like you can only do one at a time.
That's what I was trying to do. Like all this week.
You just gotta set an alarm for yourself.
Yeah.
I took some time off of work because I really want to just experience the patch without having to deal with phone calls.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I can still do my usual get up an hour before the patch goes live, and then play through it all in like by noon.
Usually I wait for like the guide videos, visual guides to come out for the extremes so I could study it and then get in and try it, but
I tried to
this
get those done by the
expansion-
week. I tried to do the extreme and stuff by the week, but I mean like the story and the 24-man raid this time. I try to get them done by noon because that's when all the spoilers come out on Twitter and everything. And
I don't have Twitter.
you're not careful.
Travesh, we're doing an interview. I'll let you know when we're done.
Oh,
Oh.
I was gonna come here screaming, Misha, I need your body again, and then
No.
Super inappropriate.
is not.
It is if I'm recording it. Oh, that's not wrong.
When does he ever not need my body? It's always something with him.
For the record, people, it's not that way. Probably needs her to do what?
Like
math.
Wondrous Tales is what he
Yeah.
usually hits me up for. Like, I need more DPS. Join my party.
Oh, this FC.
It's so wild because, like, we both started out in the same FC,
Yeah.
Shadow Empire, and he like left them and took a break from being in anyone's FC, and then eventually joined mine.
A lot has happened in this.
Yep.
It's hard to wrap my head around. Because for one thing, it's like, is this real? Like, have we really reached a new storyline now? Because I'm just imagining Zodiac and Heidelin just showing up and be like, nope, we're not done yet. In the middle of
Not only
6.1.
that, but we got a large plot now. That wasn't a thing before Endwalker.
Oh, yeah. The large plot incident.
Like, we just went from a small in Goblet
Yeah.
to a large, the perfect spot in Mist. That never happens.
I still got to get my medium house. That's as far as I want to go, though. I want a medium, nothing. Because if I get a large for myself, then I'll get messages and stuff complaining. Why do you have a large when you're not an FC?
Like, how does that work? Do you have to abandon your small plot first and then try, like, in the lottery? Or can you keep your house and then throw your stuff in the lottery, and once you get the lottery house, you get rid of that?
From what I read, is you go to a plot, put your money in, and if you win, you just transfer your house. Kind of like you would normally do.
That's simple.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, like, abandon your current house if you
Yeah.
don't.
If you don't win.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. They aren't going to be that. They ain't going to be that messed up. It would be wrong. And the worst part is, I have to wait because I'm staying in Kagane. I have to wait and hope somebody moves out.
Kugane is a nice spot, though.
But they also are getting six new wards. Aren't we getting
Yeah,
more
they
now?
mentioned something about making, like, wards that are exclusive for FCs, and then and other wards that are exclusive for, like, people that just want to have their own house.
Ooh. So separating them?
Yeah.
That would be better. Oh. You know,
And I think adding more wards is a huge help altogether.
Yeah. Still wish they would go the Final Fantasy XI route and just give us our own personal instance land, but I think that's what Island Sanctuary is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
Which still
How
waiting
many
for.
minions do you have for that?
I don't know. I don't have in my head. I think like 200.
I have 335 minions. I'm ready.
214.
Nice. There's a lot of, like, the Stormblood minions that drop down in price dramatically, so you could just buy them from the market board because everybody's buying those coffers that you get from being captain rank.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I got to captain rank just so I could buy those, and then I got a minion that I thought was worth a lot, and it was only worth like 100k market board.
The messages of all the FC just trying to ask me about how to get the captain rank, and I'm still like, I just did random things with the squadrons. I just pushed buttons the whole time.
That's all you had to do. Like, I think it was 5 or 10 different dungeons with them. Like it couldn't be the same dungeon.
Yeah.
Just had to be enough of different ones until you get captain rank.
A part of me wants to go back in the squadron to see, because it's. I
It's
think
good for leveling if you have like a DPS that's like literally level 1. You could like take your squadron
I shouldn't.
level with them. From 1 through 40 or like 16 through 40 is good experience. It's easy to do it with your squadron, but now you can do it with the trusts.
And we'll be able to do it with other things too when
Yeah.
when the patch comes, because they're changing everything.
How do you feel about them breaking down that MSQ?
The
roulette
poor
thing?
man and removing
Yeah.
La Habrea and stuff. We're gonna have to run it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to run it and
We're gonna have to
see.
science that one.
Yeah. Should we do it minimum eye level and stuff, just to see how chaotic
If it is for
can
science, then
Yeah.
yeah, we should.
be? My thing is, how do we get to when they change everything? How do we use New Game Plus to get to the solo instant fights? 'Cause that's the only way we'll be able to do it, because we're ahead of the curve. We can't just go backwards all of a sudden, can we?
It might level sync, don't you think?
Solo instance?
Yeah.
Uh,
You didn't think about that, did you?
West Cape is gonna be so. It's not gonna be the same. West Cape, it will never be the same now. The hardest content in the game.
I won't miss it.
I'll miss him. I'll miss how easily we could destroy him and move on. Now it'll be a challenge since it's solo.
What about Alliance Raid? Didn't someone mention that it would be like a 4-man or an 8-man for the whole thing, or
Or
Alliance Raids?
no, there'll still be 24.
Hmm.
They should be. I didn't hear anything about them changing that.
It'd be interesting if you can unsync it and just do it with 8 people.
I think you can, can't we? Are
With 8
they?
people?
Yeah. Well, no, because there are some rooms in the labyrinth where
Oh,
you
you're
have to
right.
you kind of have to have 3 parties. Put a button at the end so you don't get killed by Ancient Flare and White. The Atmos is too many buttons.
So why Monk, Ron? Why is Monk like your favorite job ever?
Because it was part of the meme.
I mean, there's Dragoon memes too. Why didn't you go Dragoon?
Because monk memes for Ron Stoppable. I mean, because he's a martial artist.
Is he though?
No, not really, but I dropped the controller. But I mean, anybody who's watched Kim Possible knows that
Yeah, he does seem like he would be a monk.
yeah. Well, we know why you chose Red Mage, because Red Mage.
Yeah.
I wanted to do Red Mage when it came out, but then I stuck with Monk the whole time.
But you can't raise the healer or the tank that dies if you're a monk.
I know.
I like
But
being
I
the
can-
difference between a clear and a wipe.
But I can give a 10% buff to healing.
Red Mage does something.
Red
Red
Mage
Mage has
have a
magic
thing.
barrier
Mm.
that it reduces magic damage taken by self and nearby party members by 10% while increasing HP recovery
Oh my
by
goodness.
healing actions by
Oh.
5%.
That sounds like fun.
It's super useful. You're welcome. Like, red mage has a lot of utility.
Yeah. Well, I've been experimenting with other jobs.
Do you think you'll, like, get Astro to 90, or are you gonna try saging to 90?
I'm taking saging to 90.
I feel like between
But I might do
Astro...
Astro as well because of the cards. Because we could
Astro
use
is
that.
easy,
Yeah.
and White Mage is easy. Sage is kind of hard,
Yeah.
especially if you don't know what the actions all do and the tank is pulling from wall to wall because they don't care.
Just light speed it. Just light speed it. Oh wait, on the
Sage
Astros.
doesn't have light speed.
Exactly. Don't you all forget it. I have trouble with Sage, but it's still fun.
Same.
But Reaper. Oh boy. I still
What do you mean, oh boy?
I still don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm just still pushing buttons.
I don't either, but like, as long as you know like your positionals, that's all you need to know, and then you can do the rest on the fly.
What are you talking about? I thought we just use True North all the time. Until we don't have it, then you panic.
No.
What everybody keeps telling me, just True North with Monk. It's like you only get that button 2 times before it recharges for like 60 seconds.
You just gotta be creative with it.
You know. Woo. So we're doing maps. What time are we doing maps?
We're gathering maps, but we'll actually do maps probably. I would say Wednesday night, because Tuesday we have to get through the main story and try out the new trial, the extreme.
And the 24-man raid. We are fighting the gods, finally.
Oh, there's a 24-man raid too, huh? Well, I'm off on Wednesday, so...
The, Myth of the Realms. We get to finally meet our deities and be like, why? Where were you at when we were fighting Zodiark? I have a feeling that we're gonna be invited by them, and they're gonna complain about the fact that we defeated Zodiark and Hydaelyn, and they want to test our strength.
I just hope it's as wild as Orbon Monastery, because I had so much fun learning Thunder God.
Oh my goodness. We need another one of them. We need a Thunder God.
Everybody should have a Thunder God in their life.
Oh my god. It is truly... When it first came out, that was the that was the boss that
That was like make
everybody.
or break that made people leave.
I was too stubborn though to quit, so I managed to get through.
The near raids, they weren't as hard to figure out. I mean, some mechanics will still clap you if you're not careful, but...
I played near Automata just to understand that raid, and it's still like... I don't think it's... I feel like they gave up at during the final raid. It was clear. Because the scoring kind of didn't make any sense. It was just all over the place.
I agree with that.
What was Heaven's Ward? I can't remember. Oh, it was the pirate stuff.
Yeah.
The Sky Pirates.
Like the Void Ark, or...
Yeah, Void Ark, the Maku, and Dun Husk. It was Diablo's trying to take over the world. That's all that was. And then our favorite little cat boy in Realm Reborn.
Dunscape always makes me sad. Like, because again, I joined towards the end of Stormblood, so I learned all of those 24-man raids properly, but
Mm,
Dunscathe, no.
no.
It always makes me sad having to do it. Like, I tear up every
It's
time I get it.
it's so annoying. It's just I hate the first and final bosses. That's about it. Death Gaze and Diablos. When when you fight them, it's just nobody really knows or remembers what to do half the time. Well, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's everything.
Yep. I guess I'll see you in 6.1, or maybe an hour later because we gotta gather maps.
Yeah, we
I've
got stuff
got
to do, Ron.
I've got so many maps though. They're just not
Are
level
they
90.
90?
No, they're level 80.
I'm gonna need
So
you to start hoarding the level 90 maps because they're gonna have new materials and we're gonna get rich.
this is what this is what I've become, a personal bank.
Nope, this is the whole point of the game. Getting
No,
that guild
this is the
so
end
you can
game.
buy whatever you want and not have to like
This is yep.
clinch.
Yep. You can't play this game without guild, folks. You really can't. I kind of wish they would take pricing from teleports away. There's no telling how much I've spent on teleporting from
You
Aetherite
should
to
be
Aetherite.
buying Aetherite tickets, Ron.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any allied seals or centurio seals?
No. I think I do, but not a lot. I haven't been able to really do content that gives me those.
Hunts, like A ranks and S ranks, and do your weekly hunts. That way you can start racking those up because
But aren't
they
they
only
in...
cost 5 of your allied seals or 5 of your
Yeah.
centurio seals.
But don't we have to do Realm Reborn and like old content
Yeah,
for hunts?
it
It's
doesn't
like,
take
ew.
too long.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Old
also
stuff.
resources online that'll show you all the different spawn points, so you can
Yeah.
just go there until you find it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so bad.
I'll have to do that. It would be better.
Yeah, I don't even think about how much I'm spending when I'm teleporting anymore because you could set the amount when you have the Aetherite tickets and it goes over that amount that you set it to,
No.
then it automatically uses the ticket instead of asking you every single time. Like, you just have to set it.
Oh, that sounds so much better. Well, that's it.
Alright. Bye!
Bye. Alright, welcome everybody. For my next interview, it's Jiro, Phoenix Heart, who I don't know how to explain it. Are we still dating somewhat? Or
I don't know.
Yeah.
We took a break without like saying we were taking a break. It wasn't a breakup or anything. It's just you got busy, I got busy,
yeah,
and it was never really a serious relationship. It's just
it's
not
just
like
us messing around, but everybody keeps thinking it is.
God, yeah, it's not a soulmate thing at all. But it's
Uh.
just like we have a little bit of fun. One day the fun will end, but we enjoy it while it lasts.
But yeah, but you're still important to me because you've made, in a short amount of time, you've made the game much more interesting than what I normally deal with. I
Aw.
won't say how exactly for reasons. But yeah. But I wanted to know just a few things about in your words, about things like I guess we could start with how do you feel about the fact that Zodiac and Heidelin's story is ending and we're getting a brand new adventure, pretty much? After everything
My
that's happened, how do you feel?
my my emotions are mixed, mostly positive. It's I mean, obviously, I would have liked to have seen, a grand tale, and I would have liked to have seen it go to all kinds of depths and epic proportions. But the tale does have to go on, and it does have to end at some point. And I'm glad that after this amount of time, we finally got to see a conclusion. May not have been the best conclusion. Obviously, I think Square Enix felt a lot of pressure with COVID and trying to work things in a short schedule and everything. So I think there was a lot of unrealized potential in the story that we got, and I don't know. I think throwing Meteon in as a villain at the last minute she didn't quite seem as impactful as an antagonist as it could have been. I feel like they could have definitely done a lot more with Xenos and made that more of a thing instead of throwing this in with Meteon. But at the same time, I'm glad to see new stuff. I'm interested to see in what we get out of the 12. It'll certainly be interesting in any of the roleplay things. General Han is a worshiper of Halon and is, because he's a Dark Knight, basically a fucking heretic in the eyes of the church. But
Well, church is no more then. I
yeah.
will say that
So
it's being rewritten as of what
the church isn't no more. If you've done some of the side quests, it's not no that the church is gone. It's just being redefined. It's
yeah.
trying to find its place in this new world with this truth that has been let out. So, but we've gotten enough nation building from the results of our adventures. It's definitely time to move on and explore the broader parts of Eorzea. But yeah, I'm Endwalker was good. It was great. Not as not as grand as I think it could have been, but it was definitely. It's sad to see it go, but I smile because it happened.
Yeah. Um. But that I guess that leads to the next question. How did you start? How did you get into FF14 at the beginning?
I was brought in back in the days when Heavensward was out, but I didn't quite. I actually tried it and then kind of fell out of it for a bit. It didn't quite hook me the first time I tried, and of course, it was Realm Reborn that I kind of felt the slog, and this was before things got shortened, like they have. Um, During at some point I kind of gave up. I just didn't wasn't quite feeling it. Then I was convinced by my friend. You've met them, Dunamis. They convinced me to give Final Fantasy XIV another go. They said that once I get to Heaven's Word, the story would be amazing, and also I would get to play Dark Knight, which is my perfect thing. Every role-playing game where I've been able to play a big muscled dude clad in plate armor and swinging a big sword. Yeah, that's always my go-to equipment loadout. So, and yeah, once I got to Heaven's Word, it's just everything was uphill from there. Stormblood came out just a little bit after I got back in, so by the time I finished Heaven's Word, Stormblood was already in full swing. So I never got to see Raubon Extreme, as people jokingly called it. Yeah, it was fixed by the time I got there.
Oh man, I got lucky. I managed to get through, I managed to get through that very easily, thankfully.
No, lucky.
Before it got out of control.
It was fixed by the time I got there, but yeah, Stormblood wasn't quite as good as Heaven's Word, but oh man, did they make up for it in Shadowbringers.
So I guess I'm different because I honestly could deal with Realm Reborn when I came back a second time. And I don't know why, I enjoyed Stormblood. Maybe I'm just
No.
weird.
I mean, yeah, I did enjoy it, but I think for me, it just didn't quite match up. I think because it was like two separate stories, where
Yeah.
one was really, really good and one was kind of mediocre. That kind of muddled things a bit. Um, but yeah, for me, I don't know. I really loved the Heaven's Word expansion, and of course, then Shadowbringers came out, and that was amazing, and then Endwalker, which is also really good.
Is there any favorite moments throughout the whole thing that you
Oh
keep
man,
close?
moments that I keep close. Obviously, of course, everybody remembers our good old Haurchefant,
Yeah,
and
the usual.
and and when Count Edmund was grieving, that was heart wrenching moments. God, it's hard to narrow down specific moments because there's
Yeah.
just so many good moments. Let's see, there was killing Ilberd. That was one I will always hold close. My God, I hated that guy. I hated him so much.
Yeah.
I role played that my character had war paint on as a symbol of an oath of vengeance for when I finally kill Ilberd.
Oh my
And
goodness.
after that dungeon, I took off the face paint because oath of vengeance.
I did.
It had been fulfilled.
Oh, by the time I reached that point, the clock, pretty much the countdown for Stormblood was getting ever closer. So I kind of had to rush through that. I couldn't prepare myself mentally for any of that came out afterwards once doing that dungeon. Because for me, it was, oh yeah, I get to deal with Ilbert finally, and then watch Papolino die. And it's like, no time to grieve because you got another expansion that's right around the corner in about a day or two. So you can't process this information.
Yeah, for some reason, I wasn't of the scions that have died. I never got attached to them for some reason. I don't know. Papolimo, I never really got attached. It was like, oh, that sucks. They could have done more with him. But I felt like but I guess people that had probably played 1.0 probably had a more positive opinion of him. And Moonbreeda, I don't know. The moment she walked in, something in the back of my head said, "Oh yeah, she's gonna die."
Yeah.
And so I just mentally walled off any possible attachment I might have had for her before it even happened. However, in Endwalker, they totally got revenge on me with the Urianger scene meeting Moonbreeda's parents.
Yes. That's sad.
Oh God, which brings me back to favorite moments. When I keep forgetting his name, Elephant Bro. When Elephant Bro was running through the jungle with the baby. Oh my God, I was.
Because you didn't.
In the back of my mind, I was going, there ain't no way Square Enix is gonna off a baby. Ain't no way it's gonna happen. But at the same time, I was like, oh shit, the baby's turning. Oh shit.
Yeah, they really messed with. They messed with quite a few people with things like that. Even in Shadowbringers, they were trying to push the boundaries. Be like, yeah, we have to stay in teen, but let's get as close to where it's still teen, but more mature and dark. While still saying it's teen. It's like,
oh yeah, I was reading a thing where Tesleen, the scene where Tesleen changed into a Sin Eater, they weren't originally gonna have her go into some cocoon and then transform off camera. No, we were gonna get to see the full body horror of that, and I wish we could have gotten that. But
they said, yeah, I read that article as well, and I was like, oh, that would have been great.
which just goes to reinforce an opinion I've held for a long time. Government regulations suck.
That's the thing.
We
It's
need less government.
it's not the government that regulates that. It's the ESRB was designed by gamers and stuff mainly.
No,
I think.
yeah, but no, it was brought about from a lot of political movement during the days of like Mortal Kombat and
Yeah, they had.
all that stuff. It was pushed by politicians, created by politicians. It's even if it's not, I don't know if it's not necessarily run by the government, but it is a spawn of the government, and that's just as bad.
Yeah, but let's not get political, unless it's Final Fantasy politics, because
True.
real life politics are sketchy and weird, and I stay away from it.
Sketchy and messy.
Yeah, but are there any moments in the game with other people that you hold importantly? I don't know how to word this question.
I'm trying to think of specific moments with other players. It
doesn't have to be
every
me.
time I've done, I guess it's. I guess every time I've done a new trial or new content with someone, it's always special. Before I did Final Fantasy XIV, I was pretty much all of my MMOs and my taste toward MMOs were heavily leaning toward games with a PvP focus. So my first MMO was Dark Age of Camelot, which was like the first MMO to have like a three-way faction system, kind of like Elder Scrolls Online has now. In fact, I'm fairly certain ESO system is based. It's pretty much an exact copy of Dark Age of Camelot's frontier system with keeps and relics and stuff like that. So I have a lot of memories of that. From Dark Age of Camelot to Warhammer Age of Reckoning, even New World, when it was still new and before everybody realized just how crap it was.
Oh yeah, let's. It has New World has potential, but
oh god, it did have so much potential, but it just
it fell off the mark.
It did. I mean, like the faction, the Marauders that I was, it had glitches that were unique to that specific factions. So we just kind of got screwed on that, and its siege battle things with the forts was just utter garbage, and where people would exploit its system and force people to lag out, and that's how you won. Its open field battles were amazing and great and worked amazing. It worked just fine. At one point, we even managed to do a great. Me and my group, we 4v12'd another group of people. We just rolled up on them from behind. They panicked. We took out their healers and casters really fast, and because I was just a tank, people were trying to wail on me, but I was damn near unkillable. And yeah, it was just 4 of us versus 12 of them, and we won. And that was an amazing fight that I remember. But yeah, for Final Fantasy, I don't really have as many memories with players. There is one I do remember, though. Early on, when me and Kirsting and Dunamis got into barding, we held a Christmas concert. And this was before any of us learned how to do like multiple bards at once. So we were just taking turns doing solos. But yeah, we did a Christmas concert. It was hosted at another free company's house. There was something like 12, 15 people there, and it was a lovely time. It was a lovely, lovely Christmas concert.
I guess that leads to the next question is there any favorite content you've done? Like dungeons, trials?
Favorite content? Well, who can I don't think anybody in their right mind can say they've not enjoyed the Hildebrand stories.
Of course.
So that's definitely some content that I have enjoyed. I also remember in the earlier days doing a lot of Palace of the Dead and getting really deep into the palace, and that was harrowing. We got pretty deep in there, and yeah, we eventually failed that role. But I think we got to floor like something 150, something like that. I
I
don't remember.
I
Maybe
didn't
higher,
I
maybe
didn't
higher than
expect you
that.
to be the type to dive into Palace of the Dead. At least trying to get to the bottom of it.
I mean,
And
we just wanted to see as far as we could go. If we could get to the bottom, then amazing. But
yeah. Let's see. I didn't have these questions written down. I'm just thinking of them off the top of my head.
yeah, take your time.
Um. Oh, there is. Here's one. Has there ever been a time where you've wanted to give up? Because I have almost fully given up on this game because of an incident. Has there ever been an incident or moment where you're just like, I'm done with this game, and then come back
Mm,
like 2 weeks later and be like, let's go.
not like that. There was that one point I mentioned when kind of gave up in the middle of a Realm Reborn content back when Heavensward was the latest
Yeah.
content. But I eventually came back from that, and yeah, after that, there hasn't been any incidents other than like a new game coming out, or
Yeah.
I'm caught up. I'm caught up on all the content. I guess I'll go do something else for a
Yeah.
while.
I mean, that's the best part about this. It's like, even if you get done everything, you can go and wait for new content. You don't have to stick around. You can go
Exactly.
play something else. Even Yoshi P has said it's like, if you want to go play something else, go ahead. The game will still be here. Like, nothing's time gated or anything. You can take your time.
Exactly. That's honestly a great philosophy for a game, and probably one of the reasons why we keep coming back to it is because we're not pressured to keep playing.
Yeah.
If we're done, we're done. We take a break.
I'm amazed that it's night. Now I'm getting distracted by the sky.
You see a shooting star? Because I saw one.
I saw the Azure Star. How about that? It's you have to do a quest line in order to do it. That's involving crafting and gathering. You know that thing you won't do.
What do you mean? I need to catch up for the 90 stuff, but I did it all the way up until level 80 for all the crafters
Oh.
and gatherers.
I didn't. Thought you said you didn't bother with
Yeah,
it.
and I'm level 90 in miner and botanist, but still working on the crafters.
I just know you don't do it advancedly as me and my FC leader. She was the one that
Oh,
got
yeah.
me into it, and now I'm addicted
Yeah.
to the point where I do it in other games obsessively.
Yeah, I don't like going into the try hard levels of you need to eat and overmilled and wear this special crafted gear, and I'm just like, no, I just want to make a couple of nice things and make a little bit of extra money. I
Yeah.
don't want to get into the super uber crafting stuff.
I mean, I do it because it's skill. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
made a
probably
I made a few million when the crafted gear sets came out for all the jobs. So I've become obsessed.
oh lord.
I mean, it just means that I can make stuff for you.
This is true.
What, you don't want a boyfriend that can give you free gear?
I suppose that is the benefits of having a boyfriend that's heavily into crafting.
You don't have to pay over $2 million for it. I mean, when it first comes out. Though this time, when everything came out, the prices of it all just plummet because there are so many people doing crafting and gathering now because it's so simple to do. It's easy now.
Oh god, the Heavensward crafting leveling was so bad. I hated it. I almost gave up on that.
I've heard stories about that. I didn't start really getting into it until like middle of Stormblood.
My inventory is still full, and doing the leveling and crafting for the 80 to 90 stuff. I have 3 retainers. They're all full. My Chocobo saddlebag is all completely full. And I am almost 2 rows into my 4th slot on my inventory. Oh, and also almost all of my armory chest is full as well. When we get this new update to the glamour chest, I am gonna have so much free space.
Oh my god. I mean, I haven't even cracked the surface for mine, but my glamour. Because I just wear the same outfit over and over. But I guess it's time for a change if I can in 6.1.
What kind of change?
For my my outfit, that's about it.
Well, as you can see, I've gone back to Highlander. For story content, I always go Highlander. I started the game as a Highlander, and I guess like in roleplay things, Jerohan is, canonically a Highlander.
Yeah.
But, in between content, I can't help myself. Lalafells are cute. I will spend hundreds of dollars on Fantasia to be a Lalafell.
My God. I changed to a Vieira, but then I realized I couldn't wear helmets as a warrior. And I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I need something.
Yeah, I did the Vieira thing for a while too, but I don't know. I either gotta be my big old Highlander with no eyebrows. God, I hope we get eyebrows with the new graphics updates.
Wait, you don't have eyebrows? What?
None of the Highlanders have eyebrows.
I did not know this until
None of the Highlander males have eyebrows.
I did not know this. This is new. I just assumed they were covered up by the headband.
Like every time I've gone into a Twitch chat for one of the live letters, I constantly see people chanting "eyebrows for Highlanders win."
I can't believe this is new. This is new information to me. I don't know how to process it.
Here, look.
You don't have eyebrows. What is this? You seriously don't?
Well, I mean, I think there are some eyebrows, but they're like on the inside of the socket. You could barely see them.
Oh, those are eyelid. Well, I forget. Eyelashes. That's what those are. Yeah, you don't have eyebrows. What is this? What reality are we living in where you don't have eyebrows? What is this, sir? Reality is a lie.
You came here to interview me, but now I'm interviewing you.
Bye, gold, bye. I don't remember the quote from Bill Cipher.
I don't even know what that is.
We gotta get you. We need to get you information. I've noticed that a lot of things I know and have watched, it's like you've never gone near. Like Bill Cipher's from Gravity Falls. What was the one recently? Oh, Binding of Isaac. Like I talked
Yeah.
about that, and you were like, "What was that?" And then you saw it, and it was like, "What is this nightmare?"
Yeah, I believe the words were something. I probably can't say it in the interview, but
No.
probably gonna have to censor a couple of the things I've said already.
Fine. I'll just put strong language. It's like we're adults. My YouTube is not designed or suited for children. Please. And I've already marked that little box that says that. So if people start complaining, it's like, well, we were warned. I've seen, in my years of doing YouTube and Twitch, I've seen weird accusations and stuff. Like apparently, like one that sticks with me is the story about a YouTuber who had this kid watching their Twitch, and then like moments later, apparently the father of the kid found out and tried to sue them, which just made no sense. Like,
Yeah, no, you should have been paying more attention to your kid, dude.
exactly. And it was apparently the streamer won that case because they actually were taken. Like the father actually tried to do it. It's people are crazy these days. Even back then they were crazy, but now it's just out of control.
Man, people have always been crazy, but yeah, it's just nuts these days.
But not as nuts as defeating despair itself.
Yeah, that's.
Nobody saw Metreon coming from. No one was. Everybody.
The moment I saw her, I was like,
That's our main boss.
I didn't think main boss, but I was like, oh yeah, something bad's gonna go on because of her.
Oh yeah. Like the moment Hermes explained who she was and what she was and stuff and her power, it's like, yeah, I know where this is going. Here's our source of when it due to why everything is happening. Like Hermes, what were you thinking? Why you do this to us?
Oh, yeah, that was another thing. Oh, that was another thing. The I forget what it's called. The dungeon where you're on your way to Heidelin. So
The Aether
we
Scope
fight,
or something.
we fight Amun in the Crystal Tower, and we fight him again as Zodiark. And we fight him again as Hermes, and we fight him again in the realm of the dead. And I'm just like, how many times have we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
No, when you fight Hermes and Elpis, that's actually Hermes.
Well, it's same person, same soul.
No. When
more or less.
The thing is with Amon, right? He kind of overwrote Hermes' original soul. That's why he was able to retain everything he's done in past lives. Like when they first brought him on board as Amon, because what they were going to do was just use his body and then put Hermes' soul in him, and then Hermes would just take over. But Amon was just too twisted and messed up to be taken over. It's crazy, but yeah,
same Ascian/ancient soul. Still got to teach that guy a lesson 4 times.
Yeah, we kind of. I'm just glad the Ascians are gone now. No offense, I did like Emmett Selk and others, but it's like we need to move on. We got things to do. But at least Emmett told us about like what pretty much we'll be coming and expecting.
Oh, I mean, they could have done it a number of ways, but
just telling us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I think it was a bending of the fourth wall to say, "Hey, look, we still got ideas, we still got things in Eorzea we can do. This ain't the end of the game." Yeah,
because that's what one of the things we were saying. It's like, what are we? If this is the conclusion, what what are we gonna do afterwards? A lot of us was freaking out. It's like, is it gonna go boring or?
And
then
I'm just sitting there like, calm your tits. They'll think of something.
it's like, hey, you know the 12? That's a thing we can do. And they're giving us that. Thank God. Oh. I'm so tired. I've been up since midnight yesterday.
Dude! Why?
I was preparing all of this. Remember when I was trying to convince you to do the interview early? That's kind of why. I just didn't want to say outright, yeah, I've been up almost 24 hours. But I need this interview for me.
Dude. If
It's,
I'd known. Sorry, man.
it's fine. I took a nap before this, though. So.
Oh, that's good. You
I'm
probably,
able
you
to
probably
stay-
took a nap while I was DMing.
How'd that go, by the way?
Rough start. Had some technical issues, and I think I haven't really DM'd seriously like ever, so I think I just need to do a bit more prep work for next session. But once I figured out how things were working, we got things rolling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, doing a gothic horror kind of adventure. Curse of Strahd is what it's called. We're starting off with like a little pre-starter thing called Death House. But
I love horror D&D. I don't like playing D&D because I have no idea how, but I like watching it.
I like that kind of stuff too, but unfortunately, it's kind of turning out like some memes I saw where it's like the adventure, the adventure the DM wanted. It shows like a thing from Castlevania, and there's like I forgot which one it was, but the adventure the DM gets, and it shows like the Count from Sesame Street, and it shows the players as just a bunch of clowns. And that's pretty much what I'm getting.
Yeah, when you want to do horror and you have the image in your head with the monsters and the messed up things, but then trying to put it down on paper or in an image, it's like, that's not exactly how that actually looks in my head. Like,
No.
that?
Oh no, the problem is the players being a bunch of clowns that don't take anything serious.
Oh, yeah, that too. It's a comedy horror at this point.
Pretty much, yeah. Like my brother, my younger brother is playing a turtle monk. It's basically a turtle person. He was raised in a sewer with his 3 brothers by a were-rat.
Boy, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It's like, totally didn't rip that off of something. No. Original character, do not steal.
His token on Roll20 is the Michelangelo from the Cowabunga It Is meme.
So I guess.
However, he managed to surprise me by doing some good role playing to do some detective work with some stuff. Wouldn't have expected that from him. He's usually the comic relief guy.
So
Last adventure he was in college stuff. He had to leave us early, and so we did it with his character dying. We found out because he was the one keeping track of the money. We found out he was fucking embezzling from the party funds the whole time.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. You can't do that, people.
Let's see. He also set a church on fire and then vehemently declared it was not an evil act because he was, quote, purifying it in the name of his fire god.
So you ready for 6.1?
About as ready as I can be. I also finished getting all of the Mog Tome things today, so there's nothing else left from the Mog Tome
Yeah.
stuff I want, so I'm all good.
I wanted to farm that, but after last month's problem with like waiting 3 weeks for the network for my internet to be installed, like the
Did you at least
clock.
get the basic stuff you wanted?
I got the package I want. It does work, but the upload is sketchy, which is sad. Because I've been having problems trying to stream. It'll stabilize itself for like 2 hours and then start bouncing all over the place and going straight to zero, and then OBS is like, hey, we gotta disconnect and reconnect. Only to have it constantly do that like 2 to 3 times. And then 4 hours later, it's like, okay, time to stabilize. Now you can stream without worry. It's like, no, I need this consistent.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try to call him tomorrow. But I guess that's the end, right?
I mean, unless you had more questions.
No, can't think of anything. You got anything? Got anything that can be asked?
What are you most looking forward to with the next expansion?
The 12. I'll be honest, the 12. I know in the trailer they showed like Ystola wanting to travel between worlds, but it's like we've done that. We can put that aside for something else at the moment.
Well, look, she's got to go see her cat daddy boyfriend back in the first.
Oh God, don't say that. You'll get me in trouble. We're the only two that like that relationship, okay? Even I said I would say, I ship that as well. So it's like,
I'm honestly indifferent, but I mean, we'll see what happens with it.
well, if they make it back, then Thancred can sing Rain.
Yeah, that's a thing.
But I'd rather see what the 12 have to offer. I think what it is they're mad now because it's Heidelin and Zodiac are gone, and now they realize, oh, we have to step in and take care of things. Thanks a lot, Warrior of Light. That's what I think. They're gonna invite you over and then try to destroy you for ruining things, and it's like if we didn't deal with this, the Asians would have sooner or later actually won.
Well, we don't necessarily know that. Good old Yoshi P could probably have some tricks up his sleeve.
Better than Nomura. Oh my God! I saw the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer and I was like, no, this doesn't.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet.
You might want to sit down when you see it. You might want to sit down and.
Well, of course, I'm going to be sitting down. I'll be at my computer.
I mean, mentally sit it down. You're gonna need this. You're gonna. Because I was like, I can tell you this much. They're trying to bring out another mobile game on top of Kingdom Hearts 4. Which means you'll have to play the mobile game in order to understand like 2% of the story that's happening.
I gave up after 2.
Yeah.
I never played Kingdom Hearts 3, but I just like after that I was like, and then I saw all the stuff that they were doing with the mobile game, and I'm fairly certain their online MMO-ish thing, whatever that was, fairly certain that's important as well. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother try to figure all this shit out.
Well, they shut down that. They turned one of their mobiles into just all you do is watch cutscenes that were part of it.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Oh, what? Seriously, it's like Final Fantasy XIV is the only thing Square Enix is getting right these days.
It's because Yoshi P knows what he's doing.
I should just put Yoshi P in charge of all of Square Enix. But
I don't think he
probably
would.
doesn't want.
Yeah, exactly.
He wouldn't accept it. He's too attached to Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
It would be like asking him to abandon his beloved baby.
I think what it is.
He wouldn't do it.
I think what it is. It's just Nomura mad about what happened with 13 verses, and now he wants to, like everybody says, it's like, I'm gonna bring it back, and whether you like it or not, in this format, by turning Kingdom Hearts practically into that.
Well, hopefully they
still
don't screw up with
salty.
Final Fantasy 16, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
Yeah,
but
don't.
hope. I mean, it would be nice if they do, but you know, it's.
I haven't even played 15. I'm trying to get
Neither
to
have
it.
I.
But
Honestly, I think 6 was the peak. Then again, I'm heavily biased on that because there's a lot of nostalgia factor for that. But for me, 6 was peak. Well, peak was 6 non-MMO Final Fantasy.
yeah,
14 is peak Final Fantasy ever. Period. I don't think we're gonna see another Final Fantasy like this for another 10 to 20 years.
yeah, 14 is the best MMO that they've ever made. But
I think it would take them making another Final Fantasy MMO to even hope topic
I hope they never do.
14.
I'll be honest. I hope they never make another MMO because we've got 2 of
I mean-
them already.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure,
11 does
sure-
exist, folks. Whether you like
mean,
it or
look, yeah.
not.
I mean, look, Final Fantasy XI is still active. So even if they do another Final Fantasy MMO, Final Fantasy XIV will probably go on. But I wouldn't mind a new Final Fantasy MMO if they manage to do it well. If they do it well and it's built well and it's got a good story, you know, I would probably enjoy it. I'd enjoy exploring new ways of exploring the Final Fantasy franchise and just doing more like that. Who knows? Maybe they'll even add some decent PvP.
Hey, they're
Speaking,
bringing out the 5v5 right
yeah, true. I guess I
PvP
shouldn't knock
6.0.
it.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't knock it until I actually try. Cause
At least they're
I'll be-
trying, because I've noticed that nearly every few patches and expansions, they're redoing PvP to try and make it better. At least they're
Now they
playing, messing with it. They're not just abandoning it, because they did that with 11. 11's PvP is completely abandoned.
Well, I mean, not enough players, honestly.
Yeah, that's what it is. No one wants to play it because it's an interesting concept too, but
I've tried playing 11. I played it for a while. I did a rune fencer. I kind of had some friends just ferry me along and railroad me to getting rune fencer and bypassing a whole bunch of stuff, and it was all right. But oh god, I found having to mess around with the macros and
yeah,
stuff to just be tedious, and it was so much tedium, so much grinding. It was.
that's how it was back then. When it first came out,
did-
it was actually
I did
worse back then.
I did not like that. That's probably one of the reasons why I was so heavily drawn to the PvP focused MMOs, is because apart from crafting, there wasn't really any grinding.
I don't.
You leveled up, you did a few story things, got a few nice pieces of armor, and then it was great. Go kill the crap out of other players. Go take that castle. Don't worry about grinding because you've reached the max level and you're done. Just go and have fun. Here's a catapult. Break down that wall. Charge. Take the keep.
Yeah, that's about it.
So, yeah, I don't
It's
know.
kind of sad.
It's also hard.
It's sad that when they've simplified 11 now to the point where it's like you can get the 99 on your own because of all the trust systems, and sadly,
Yeah, now that is something that I've heard so many horror stories, and even as I was playing and getting frustrated, I was being reminded of how worse it used to be, and I'm just going,
Mhm.
why? Why did anybody find this fun?
because we
I don't
didn't.
know.
Because when 11 was out, that was the first MMO.
That
Everybody thinks that World of Warcraft was the first, but 11 came out before Warcraft. So those were the two game. They were pretty much the two main games. It was either 11 with its abstractive, weird systems, or World of Warcraft, which is more straightforward.
I think Dark Age of Camelot came out shortly before World of Warcraft. I'd have to double check that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Dark Age of Camelot was available. That was a thing.
Was that free?
No, it was definitely not free.
Oh, okay. Then.
It was a subscription service like everything else. Yeah, no, it had quite a player base, and I mean, God, I remember getting involved in battles of like 200 players, just slinging spells, swinging swords, and all kinds of stuff. It's nuts.
Floating fish.
That's probably actually the MMO that started my whole penchant for my tastes in my class. Like I'm playing Dark Knight right now.
Mm-hmm.
The original character I played in Dark Age of Camelot was named Jerohan. He was a Highlander, which in Dark Age of Camelot was a Scotsman. I had a fucking kilt over all of my armor. Scotsman got kilt. Even in my plate armor, I had a kilt. And I was most paladins at first, early in the game, were sword and shield or mason shield paladins. I was a two-handed sword paladin. I was a two-handed sword paladin before it even became popular. Yeah, now I sound like a hipster, but yeah, no, for a while, two-handed sword paladins became. Somebody found out that it was like, hey, this is really cool, and I was just like, I'm doing this whole time. Then eventually the popularity kind of leveled out, and there was like some people like, yeah, it's a valid way to go. Sword and shield's also a valid way to go, but yeah, no, two-handed sword-wielding paladin in Dark Age of Camelot. That's what I did. With my kilt.
I played free MMOs, mostly. But I guess 11, 14... Yeah, about 11, 14, and Secret World were the ones I paid for until Secret World couldn't be. They got rid of their subscription and went free to play, but at the same time, heavy microtransactions.
Oh yeah, aren't they the ones? Yeah, aren't they the ones that just completely fucked up their whole thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it was mostly probably because of EA. Because Funcom and EA worked on Secret World, and everybody was hyped about it too, because it's like it was an MMO surrounded by horror and the unknown and like Lovecraftian stuff, and it was like, yeah, I want that. They even did an ARG even that I was part of. I still have the emails and stuff that they sent me when asking questions.
Another MMO that oh man, this MMO had so much potential, but it got. So I was one of the people that pre-ordered way back in the day, Age of Conan: Hyborian Adventures. Conan Barbarian themed MMO. I might. We've been talking about possibly picking it up because after they fixed it, it was amazing, and it is free to play now. Though, from what I understand, the class that I was when the game first released is now restricted to people with accounts or paying for it with like through their cash app, whatever. So I'd probably create an account just so I could play my old class, the Conqueror is what it was called. But yeah, that was a game that was just the first 20 levels were an absolute masterpiece. The music was orgasmic. The voice acting was good with dialogue that me and my brothers and friends still quote to this day. With their lines, we still quote parts of that game, and it was just the perfect thing. Then you got out of the tutorial area and found out, hey, this game is incomplete. There are
Yep, that's how it works.
entire zones where there were no enemies, no quests. The dungeons were empty. The Samaria was done, but it was incredibly buggy. Yeah, they fired the entire staff. Anyone that was involved in the creation of that game got sacked, and they
Wow.
hired a new. Yeah, no, they cleaned up house. There were articles about it. Nobody was spared on that, and they got a new team in, and they fixed the game, and it was great, and apparently won like Game of the Year when they went free to play, but the damage was done. I was among many. I was the last of my group of friends that played games together. I was the last to give up and stop playing it because I had hope, but and I'm just stubborn like that. But yeah, we stopped playing, and I'd like to pick that up again, see how things were, because I've always loved Conan the Barbarian, and that first part of the game was just super fun, super amazing, and I love it. And seriously, you should also look up the soundtrack because it's some of the best music I've heard in an MMO.
Really?
Until I played Final Fantasy XIV,
I was
it
about to
was the
say.
best. Until I played Final Fantasy XIV, it was the best music in an MMO I played, and it's definitely vastly different styles. Yoshi P has a different kind of style than what you get from Conan, because Conan's meant to be, the movie. The movies kind of really set the standard, and the MMO lived up to that standard. It was definitely that kind of epic with big brass and drums, lots of do 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 do, and horns and all kinds of things. Definitely a different tune from Final Fantasy, which has more traditional orchestral things or some rock or pop stuff. It's I it's like comparing apples to oranges, but until Final Fantasy XIV, it was the best music in
Yeah.
any MMO I had ever heard.
I'm sorry to say, but 14's soundtrack, or even just Realm Reborn alone, is just like, wow.
Oh, it is. It's great.
Ah, but I guess that's the end, right? We've reached the end.
Yeah, we've just kind of been rambling on. We talked about our stuff. I guess a lot of people who listen to this probably left because, God, we're not talking about Final Fantasy. Why are we talking about Conan? Why are we talking about Dark Age of Camelot?
Because those are the things that got us to this moment.
Yeah,
They're just key. They're key moments that brought us here.
Those are Realm Reborn. Those are our 2.0, which brought us to here.
Yep. And we don't speak of 1.0 because, oh boy.
Honestly, I kind of want to try. I kind of wish I could play 1.0
So
just
do
to
I.
at least see this, just to at least see the story.
Yeah.
Because I heard that while the gameplay was crap, the story was pretty good.
I kind of wish we could. I wish I had like news sooner, like a year before that they were gonna shut it down and stuff, because I would have actually went out of the way to get a subscription and get recording of it all. And I would have had a legacy character probably, most likely, but they kind of just killed it off in secret. That was the thing. Like, there was no articles or anything about like the fact that it was shutting down. So when they announced Realm Reborn, I was like, wait, what? Why is this called 2.0? So then I started looking around, and it's like, oh, it's that one game, that one Final Fantasy game that they called 14, and yet I didn't pay any mind to it.
Yeah, I was I don't know why I wasn't interested in even trying 1.0. I'm not sure. Dunamis was definitely into it back then. He didn't I don't know. He somehow didn't get a legacy character. I know he
Probably wanted to block it out of
subscribed right
his
before the end.
mind.
No, I know. I think he said he was subscribed when that happened, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow he didn't get a legacy character, so no Scion tattoo for him.
Yep, that's how you can tell if they're legacy too. It's the tattoo. And they'll show it off too, everybody. Everyone that has
Oh
one
hell, I
will.
would. God, I would.
So would I. Oh, it's so good. Even here, the music is good.
You know, I've actually not had the music on this whole time.
What? I've heard this song already like 6 or 7 times since being here, sitting here. It's just
You know, lately I've had the background music off, but that's because I'm doing things like listening to Critical Role or
yeah.
just other music like farming the new Mog Tombstones. You can only hear Aurum Vale so many times before you're like, all right, fuck this. I want to listen to something
Yeah.
else.
Automobile is a treat. It's the curveball that comes at the end, and it's like, why is this dungeon here? Why does this exist to torment us? But us veterans figured out how to do it correctly and efficiently. Just go Blue Mage.
Yeah.
Just Blue Mage everything.
Yeah, today was the last day for farming it, and yeah, I was going as a tank, and I had 3 blue mages with me. Which, of course, made me the most valuable and important member of the team.
Of course, because Blue Mage.
Of course.
For those who don't know, Blue Mage is a limited job. And
Can't do current content with Blue Mage.
you can't do the main story with it either.
Yep.
Because I tried to pull that stunt by unlocking Blue Mage on an alt. And then found out, because it's a limited job, it's like, you can't continue the storyline. You have to use one of the many actual main jobs. And I was disappointed, because it would have been great to go through all the expansions as a Blue Mage. Oh boy. But I guess that's the end of this.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I've still got a few things to do before the servers shut down or I pass out. One of the two is gonna happen.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
I will.
Bed with you.
I will after I do the final part of this. But it's good to be with you.
That was good. This was more pleasant than I expected it would be.
All right. See everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey guys. So, this is just closing. I wanted to just say it's been one hell of a journey. It's had a lot of ups and downs. Not only in game, but in real life. Outside of it. Outside of the game and stuff. Like, from so many problems with what was going on in my life to now I'm living on my own. And I'm finally free to do what I want. And relax. And have fun. And hang out and stream and work on stuff, content and things. It's just been, I mean, we're still at the beginning stages though. It'll be probably a few months before I really get to the swing of things. All in all, 1,000 episodes. So many stories, so many things I've done in this game, and it's and we're gonna get a new adventure, and I'm hoping for another 1,000 for this story. But for now, though, because this is Sunday night, it's after midnight, I'm amazed I'm still awake. I was saying that in the interviews that I've been up almost 24 hours and stuff, taking tiny naps that were like an hour or two long. But I know that the moment I go to sleep, the servers will go down, and then the next day. But I'll be here Tuesday. I want to thank Misha, Jiro, of course, and my FC and everybody who's the community, like people like Sly, aka Grey Fox, who I got to meet and hang out in his FC and stuff, and like, and go party with him and stuff. It's like, normally I don't gush about meeting big streamers and stuff, but that's a highlight in this game that I met him. I even helped him like suit up his crafting and gathering gear set for M Walker by making the high quality crafted gear for him and stuff. I'm amazed how fast I was able to pull that off, to be honest. But yeah. I guess this is it. I know I'm probably just, I guess the reality is just, it's before the interview, Jiro has said congrats on the house, and I thought he was talking about, like, I didn't get a new house in game, and then the reality was, I moved to an apartment. That's what he's talking about. Cool. Like, it's still all just, it feels like a fever dream. I feel like I'm gonna wake up and it's like last month. Like before my, like the day before my mom offered me the papers that talked about signing up for the apartment and stuff. I'm gonna end up going all the way back there and then having to relive this instead of her giving me the papers. There's nothing. I'm still in that house, that dreaded house. I'm sorry to say, but it's a horror. The conditions and what I was dealing with back then was horrible. It's like, ever since I moved, it's gotten so much better. I sleep better. I enjoy myself more. I don't have to worry about someone complaining about me being so-called loud and such. It's just... But, yeah. I'm trying to keep it all together. Trying to hold it all together. Don't cry. We've done enough of that for Shadow. We did that for Shadowbringers and Endwalker. We cried enough. So I don't even have that. I'm so emotional and tired and drained because of this day. But yeah, I think now is the time to go. I've got to do something about these videos. But yeah. See y'all in 6.1. Till next time.